I call to order the informal meeting of the plenary to hear a briefing by the Group of 20 Sherpa. As mentioned in my letters dated 15 January and 5th of March, this meeting is held pursuant to Resolution 71/327 of the 11th of September 2017, entitled The United Nations in Global Economic Governance. The President will now deliver a statement. What is this? From the rostrum. Your Excellency, Ambassador Mauricio Carvalho Lyrio, Brazil's G20 Sherpa, Under-Secretary General for UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs, Mr. Lee Junhua, Excellencies, distinguished delegates. On behalf of the UN membership, and indeed on my own behalf, let me begin by extending warmest congratulations to Brazil on assuming the presidency of the Group of 20 under the theme, Building a Just World and a Sustainable Planet. I extend my gratitude to His Excellency Ambassador Mauricio Carvalho Lyrio, Brazil's G20 Sherpa, for his presence among us today. And we look forward to the insight into Brazil's priorities during its G20 presidency. I assure Your Excellency, and through you, the government of Brazil, of my steadfast support towards achieving our mutual aspirations for a more equitable and sustainable world. I also seize this opportunity to commend India for the conclusion of a highly successful presidency, and to express satisfaction at the seamless transition of leadership from one emerging economic powerhouse to another within the ranks of the Global South. Excellencies, our world is on a precipice, as we are confronted by numerous challenges, from wars and conflicts to climate change and food insecurity, and from debt distress to multidimensional poverty. The G20, a bloc now encompassing the world's leading 21 economies, and with the African Union recently added to it, shoulders a significant responsibility in providing the needed global leadership to address the myriad of challenges confronting us. Challenges made ever more difficult by the increasing elusiveness of peace, the foundational prerequisite for achieving all other objectives. The escalation of violence and ongoing major phase of conflict in the Middle East, in Gaza, continues to shock our sensibilities with daily haunting, heart-wrenching images. The war against Ukraine rages on without any clear end in sight, with far-reaching consequences that know no borders. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the world, be it in the Sudan and in other places across Africa, in Haiti, in Myanmar, among others, conflicts and strife are escalating, putting unprecedented strains on our institutions and increasingly casting doubt on their ability to effectively fulfill their mandates. In the face of heightened geopolitical tensions, The stark divisions within the United Nations Security Council have led to stasis, leaving it unable to act on critical issues, and by extension, leaving us all in the severe cold in matters of peace and security over which the Council has primary responsibility. While the General Assembly has lawfully enhanced its role in the context of the established rules, these shifting dynamics within the UN have spurred more urgent calls for reforming the Security Council, a legitimate outcry that cannot be ignored. As we continue to seek ways to infuse some fresh perspectives into our multilateral system, we all look forward to hearing about G20's plans to bolster global stability and to strengthen international governance during these challenging times. Dear colleagues, the impact of all these interlocking challenges is that we are falling woefully short on our SDG targets. Alarmingly, 1.1 billion people today live in multidimensional poverty, a burden disproportionately borne by women. Moreover, on our current path, it is estimated that 8% of the global population, or 680 million people, will endure hunger by 2030. Despite the September 2023 SDG Summit achieving significant progress, the gap between our aspirations and our reality remains wide. We need to urgently deliver on the summit's political declaration and work much harder to increase investments in the SDGs, accompanied by meaningful reform of the international financial institutions, and to move beyond GDP as a metric of success. I am keen to learn the G20 Presidency strategies to address these shortcomings and to build on achievements, especially in anticipation of the upcoming Summit of the Future and other important meetings and conferences on our calendar. Excellencies, as the world grapples with multiple shocks, the unrelenting climate crisis only adds to the list of the already too many stressors. No country has been spared, yet the impacts are often most acutely felt by those countries in vulnerable situations, including the least developed countries, landlocked developing countries, and SIDS, overburdened with significant debt and possessing the least resources to combat these crises. In this time, the General Assembly's endorsement of the measurement of multidimensional vulnerability is paramount. While blocs and institutions such as the G20, the World Bank, the IMF, and others have taken steps towards addressing these issues, a surging debt crisis is deepening global socio-economic disparities. For this reason, one of the high-level thematic debates I will convene on April 15th during the Sustainable Week will focus on debt sustainability and socio-economic equality. I look forward to the highest possible level of participation from all UN member states. Additionally, I wish to highlight the alignment between Brazil's G20 presidency, which emphasizes justice and sustainability, and the core purpose of the Sustainability Week. Moreover, I am eager to hear the G20's proposals aimed at reducing inequalities, including how those proposals align with the discussions leading up to the 4th Conference on Small Island Developing States, the 3rd Conference on Landlocked Developing States, and the 4th Conference on Financing for Development slated for 2025. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, Let me close by underscoring that interactions such as these are designed to foster transparency and work complementarity between groupings like the G20 and the United Nations. To this end, I fully support the Secretary General's proposal in his report on our common agenda for a biennial summit that would gather heads of state and government from G20 nations, members of the Economic and Social Council, the Secretary General, and leaders of international financial institutions. I believe that such a summit will foster much-needed synergies and collaboration among our institutions as we seek avenues to build a global economy that is more sustainable, inclusive, and resilient. Similarly, I echo the Secretary General's call for a new Bretton Woods moment, emphasizing the importance of prioritizing the needs of developing countries within the global financial framework. I will continue to rely on the invaluable contributions of the entire UN membership, and I, once again, reiterate my unwavering commitment to achieve our shared goal of a more peaceful and more secure, more prosperous, and more just future for all people everywhere. I thank you.